name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So this is a video going over the new First Doctor range from Big Finish. Who'd have thought? Hartnell's come in 3-packs now. You can get a Dave Bradley flavour, you can get your Billy flavour, the traditional Billy, the original. Well, you wouldn't count Richard Hundell, 4-packs then. And now you have Steve Noonan. Steve Noonan is the new First Doctor. Once again, we have a new First Doctor. I have to say, I was very dismissive of this range when it was first announced. And I was, how can we put this, a bit of a dick about it. I was a bit of a dick about it. Steve Noonan, Stephen Noonan, not Steve Noonan. He's commented on a bunch of my videos a number of times. Some good comments, interesting stuff. And he basically reached out and said, Sweet, do you have to be such a downer about this? You're like, really? Like, maybe give it a chance. And you know what? I had to think about it, and he's absolutely right. You know, I realized that a lot of my reticence, my dismissiveness of this range, right? It was really based on things with nothing to do with this range whatsoever, like other writers that Big Finish have employed, bait and switches. Really annoying. You want to talk about the biggest Big Finish bait and switch? Dalek Universe, okay? Dalek Universe sold as an updated TV21 Daleks. You know, have that whole I want to have all the different funky type of Daleks and the Dalek political fighting between each other and trans-solar, everything, right? All that stuff we really, really liked, but updated for modern sensibilities and modern audiences, but still very authentic. That with David Tennant starring in it. So how can it get any better? Well, I got the whole thing. They came out in 3 box sets. I got 2/3 of the way through, and there wasn't any bloody Daleks. The first 2 box sets, no Daleks, right? No Daleks in something called Dalek Universe. So I was a bit piddled off with that. So, but I think that being piddled off with that has reflected on this range, and it's really, really not fair. So I'm really glad that he reached out to me, commented, "Tzvi, can you be a bit more open-minded?" And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. So I did this. I did a deep dive on it on my live stream last night on Sunday. March 13th, and it's something I've been meaning to get to for a while now. In fact, my live stream last night was a bit of a emergency one because I had too many things that I hadn't got to, so I had to just put them all together in one stream. Anyway, so I'm clipping that bit out now. So you're going to watch me being a bit gruff and go, I'm not that interested, blah, 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 humbug, blah, 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 and eventually soften and come around and say, you know what, I'm going to give this range a punt. I am going to give it, I'm a bit of a spoiler warning. That's why I end up with it. I'm going to give this range a punt. I will check it. I'll give it a good review. Well, I'll give it a review. I don't know if I'm going to give it a good review. I mean, I will review it well, right? I mean, whatever happens, I don't care how bad it is, I'm going to review it. I'm going to give it, no, I mean, I will listen to it. I will consider it. I will give it a review. I will let you know, if it's worth your time, worth your money, which is what I normally try and do, right? And I really hope it is, right? I really genuinely hope it is. Fine. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That's very, very, very good. I like to be liked. I do like to be liked. Can you hit the share button? I kind of like to be shared as well, but let's keep that to ourselves. Like, share, subscribe. Subscribe is a big one. I like the subscribe button a lot. Now, why do I like it so much? I don't know. It just makes me feel validated in life, okay? So like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. The algorithm loves your comments. They go, num, num, num. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button, baby. It's not exciting. It's a little plus. It's not exciting at all. Hit the Rumble button, baby. Mostly as well, sign up to my Substack. My Substack is a free email newsletter. I put out a bunch of comic strips on it. My stuff and classic stuff that's out of print. I'm doing the Blake Seville stuff right now. Oh, you know what I might do? You know, because they never reprinted the backup strips from Doctor Who magazine. You know, a bunch of those monster backup strips. Maybe I'll start putting those out. I got them. I'd have to scan them, but that'll be fun. I haven't looked at those for years. So anyway, that's free, okay? That's free. Sign up to my Substack. If you sign up to my paid one, NFTs are coming, baby. NFTs are coming. Hopefully this week. Actually, I might do 2 this month, right? I might do 2 for the launch month. But I really want to do an illustration from season 13, Doctor Who season 13. Well, actually, I won't want to illustrate the whole thing. This is a fantastic Capaldi season. This is season 13, actually. Season 12 is the one is where I want to start from. He really nails Capaldi. At one point, he's in a Capaldi TARDIS, but it's traditional white, and he's like, it's so bright, and he hates it. I really want to do an illustration of that for a long time. So if I do that, I might include that as an NFT as well. That'd be fun. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack. That's everything. We've covered everything. Thank God, covered everything. Fine. I'm going to hand over to a debonair, attractive, intelligent, and deeply penetrating. Deeply penetrating man. Of course, I can only be talking about one person, and one person alone, me. I like they're forging new ground. We're going to listen to Stephen Newman as the first Doctor in the trailer. Sounds excellent, right? Sounds absolutely excellent. And we're going to go over we're going to go over an article in Vortex in detail. And I think I'm going to get really fair, but I want to dismiss of it. Basically, because these two writers, Elizabeth Miles and Elizabeth Hobley. Now, my contention is they've had an easier run and with lower quality stories that come from them because they're women, right? That's my contention. Now, I may have been mistaken in that. Let's just go to the ones I've seen. So, Babe and the Butcher was not a good release, okay? That was not a good release. Which story did she do? That was a particularly bad one. The Butcher's Wife. That was the Butcher's Wife. That was I think that's probably the best of that set. I didn't like the cartoonish depiction of Baben as a moron, right? So okay, that's not a terrible story, okay? And this one she did. This was a good set. I enjoyed it. I liked the setting. The blood was okay. That wasn't great, but in the extras she did talk about how she loved doing Liz Shaw because she was a woman who was able to be empowered. The Old Man on the Grey Mountain. That was best for John Colesher doing an older brigadier, but the ending really fell apart in this range. So this, I think, got hit by the curse of the main range, which really just fell apart over the last 2 years. Because this one, it didn't just tie together, right? And I think it needed more work to it, and I don't think they could have got it out of them because they needed to have female writers. That was basically what was going on. I like this 12th Doctor Chronicle set. If I see if I can remember which one she wrote. Elizabeth Miles did Distant Voices. Cameron's hunted by strange voices as he gets onto conducting tours around the castle. There was actually quite a good timey-wimey one. Okay, so I think she's been given an easier ride, but I think I've been unduly harsh on her because I'll be honest, there was another release which really annoyed me called let me see, Sylvester McCoy. What's it called again? I have no. Oh, this one. Flying Dutchman displaced by Catherine and Gemma Arrowsmith. The worst release I've ever heard. Right, reeks of diversity hires, and I'm sorry that's the case. It was very poor. I can't believe it was produced. The quality was so low on this one. Anyway, so I think I've been unfair to Elizabeth Miles. I think she's probably, if I'm rating her out of 10, a solid 6 to 7, right? So not terrible. I mean, nothing I'm gonna go, oh no. Okay, so let's have a look. And so this is, who are we looking at? This is Elizabeth Hopley, isn't it? Yeah, Lizzie Hopley. Fine. So 8th of March, obviously. So this wasn't bad. Was it Precious Annihilation? It was this 10th Doctor and River Song. It was really kind of, I think,
it flowed on Alex Kingston and David Tennant's performance, right? More than the writing. Not a bad story, and it didn't hamper their performances. Shadow of the Daleks 2, this was just a bad release in general. And every episode of it got more annoying as it got less intelligible. So her one was Echo Chamber. It's okay. This is a very average story, right? But I think a very average release. This was really annoyingly bad. Time Lord Victorious, Mutually Assured Destruction. A great premise handed to her, and a lackluster script turned in, right? The 11 I didn't bother getting because I think the rot had set in by then. So she gave her one of these, and this was the best of the three of these box sets, which are very disappointing. The first one by Lizzie. The Doctor attempts to return home, have led into the middle of a war zone with an unfamiliar voice. The travelers have arrived on a planet made up of crashed spaceships. Or they encounter a river song, or do they? Yeah, again, this is more of a like ooh, like twat. I'll tell you what it's like. It wasn't as bad as it, but I'm watching what's the name? Snowpiercer, right? Which if you get over this ridiculous premise, I quite enjoy it. But they had an episode where it was in kind of like a dream sequence, and it was just done badly, right? You've got to do these very well. Like Sopranos did those well, right? Like when Tony's nearly dead or whatever. Those sequences, that's what they wanted to do, and it just felt horrible. And this is the kind of thing like, wow, just imagine. So she did The Curse of the Lady. I found this one kind of a trudge to get through. It's a Macbeth story. I found that. So I'd say she's so Baby the Butcher. This was awful. Oh, hang on a second. I pressed the wrong button. Elizabeth Miles. Yeah. It was this just a mediocre release in general. Mediocre low quality. So yeah, listen. She is a reason why I wouldn't be actually. Remember, she's got a 2-story in it. I should be more forgiving, right? I should be more open-minded because they really are working hard on this, right? So what happened was because of this, I've been dismissive of this range. And then Stephen Noonan, who watches the channel, right, left a very, very nice comment. But I tell you, if anybody can like just reach across me being a bombastic, irritating person, thank you very much. And say, listen, you're not really being fair. We put a lot of work into this. We really want to do something great. We want it. I think you're dismissing it ad, and you're pushing people off it, and we really want it to work, right? So, yeah, I hear what they're saying, right? I hear what they're saying. Will you be buying Stranded 4 with Colin Beck of the Career? No, I will not. I will not. I'm sorry, says Carol Lynch. This is one of the reasons I was dismissive of it is because I found Stranded to be really quite obnoxious. I found it to be a pivotal plot point that you have the character Tanya. Now, if you want to have a trans character, groovy, right? But then you had a trans character who dated your female character companion as if it was not odd. And the word odd, I'm not saying good or bad. I'm saying it's I think it's a leap of faith to say it's a social construct that all humanity, like the vast majority of humanity is heterosexual and not gender fluid. Right, I believe it's a leap. Now I understand it's your faith. I understand it's and I also think you think it's you believe it is detrimental if people who are trans hear the reality that they are in a tiny minority. Right, we're all in minorities. It's okay to be in a minority. I don't think anybody should be disadvantaged because of it. I'm happy to gender anybody with the way they want to gender. But it was a major plot point that she hooked up with Liz Schenker, right? And so it seems to me you're using this as a platform for your personal beliefs. It's as if that you did a Doctor Who story, which was pivotal of them going to a moment in the New Testament, right? and you confirmed your complete belief in Christianity, which would be fine, right? But I don't think it's fair to platform it. I don't think you would do that if it was a belief system that if you looked at it in the reality, which is this is your belief, and it's fine and it's your belief, but it's still your belief, right? And it's a belief that isn't really with the science, you know. So that's why I'm not getting stranded through it. And I got out stranded because and it just was, there just wasn't good enough as well. The story wasn't putting me in. And again, it was too much of it. It seemed to meander too much, and I'm very upset about it, really, because I followed the Eighth Doctor range right from the beginning, and I feel that they use it as a platform for their personal beliefs to alienate people who don't follow them, right? And I feel that's very exclusionary rather than being inclusive. Fine. So thank you for bringing it up. That's why so this is why I was dismissive of this range, and I don't think it's fair that I was, right. Two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah, and they don't want to do things that are garbage. It's just when I see, like like the Baben releases when they had all three writers were female, and it seemed to be like they were making a point. And I'm glad they're making the point. Listen, on one of the Third Doctor releases, Nick Briggs is talking about Wendy Craig was on it, saying that she needed to use a pseudonym to sell her scripts in television in the 70s. And I agree with him. That's messed up. Of course, that's messed up. Like, why? Right? Why? I'm very glad that was 50 years ago and not now. Right? I'm very, very glad about that. And I don't think doing these like weird sexual political experiments with your product line, which is what you're doing, is beneficial for anybody, frankly, right? Which is the Baben release is a good example of that. But this one not, this one I think I'm being dismissive, right? Okay, I'm gonna before I did this this stream tonight, I did something that I really was very happy to do, right? There was a person who is starting up their YouTube channel. They're doing fantastic, right? So they had their first stream tonight, and I was on it with them, helping them use StreamYards. They want to, and they just did a fantastic job. It's a female Orthodox religious Jewish teacher, and she was doing a thing commemorating her father. It was her father's Yortzeit, which was the day of his death, right? And she was talking. She was basically talking about the afterlife at one point, and she's a sort of spooky dooky person. She's very like grounded, even though she's very like spiritual as well. Very intelligent woman. I do enjoy her work. Anyway, so they talked about the only thing that matters in the next world, then the world that that we all go to, that I believe we pass on to. I don't believe we're random. I think we are here for a reason. I think we all matter, right? I think everybody matters, right? I think you matter, right? Because the only thing that's worth anything in the next world is silver, which in Kabbalah is analogous to good deeds, right? You have strength and good deeds. Good deeds is analogous to silver. So it's easy to be cynical, right? And I explained why I've been cynical, because I do think the world went crazy over the last few years. I think a lot of people found things genuinely disturbing, right? I think the advent of Trump and Brexit, people found genuinely disturbing. Like, just in the same way, I found the Biden is disturbing. The difference is everything terrible they said that was going to happen under Trump actually is happening now. So but then I go, is it just my delusions? They believe what they believe, and because they believed it, I think it affected the quality of their work. So, but anyway, that's why I've been dismissive. But I think it's wrong, right? I think it's wrong. I think they're putting their heart and soul into this. It sounds like they're doing a good project. Let's read it, and let's read it with an open mind, right? My goal is, okay, I'll tell you what I would love. I would love by the time I get to the end of this, they've convinced me to buy it, right? That's what I would love, right? So that's where I am, and I honestly, I hope I get to the end of this and you want to buy it too, right? That's what I would be happy about. Okay, First Doctor returns, and I like, they're doing First Doctor, the First Doctor in Dodo. It's an interesting area you could really do a lot with, right? And he might not be the one you're expecting. Well, again, we're going to listen to him. He's very good. I think it's. Look, thank God when he reached out to me, I've been complimentary about his performance, because it was pretty good, right? And the trailer's fantastic. But okay, fine. So, honestly, okay, kids, when you are courting, right, young gentlemen, when you're courting, here's what you need to know, right? A lady basically decides if she's sleeping with you in the first couple of minutes. And as long as most of the time it doesn't happen because you screw it up, right? Once they give you the initial one over the head, they go, aha, then your job is not to screw it up. That's where you are now. First Doctor Adventures, your job is not. I am open to the possibility, right? Let's overread. The First Doctor Adventures are back, and there's a new man at the controls of the TARDIS, and I have to tell you, I do quite like the bravery of Big Finish doing this recasting, which generally speaking, I think has worked. I think the recasting of Capaldi was a terrible idea. And Jake Dubbin is excellent. Excellent. And I like that first Capaldi box set they did, but him as a narrator, as the 12th Doctor, I wasn't interested. I don't think it did very well. Actor Stephen Noonan takes on the part in the debut box set, The Outlaws, with Lauren Cornelius reprising a role as Dodo Chadwick. Now, Lauren Cornelius, let me say, very easy on the eyes, and I understand this audio, but here we'll zoom out for a second. Listen, look, why is it that beautiful people do well in our world? Because we are genetically programmed to want to please you, right? Every human being is that. Lauren, you are very, very beautiful. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. But it is a fact. You are stunning. And so I would love you to be happy and do more. Okay, that's what I'm basically saying. And I'm loving the leopard print, right? It's not many people can carry that off and be classy. You've done it. So yay for you. I don't think I could do it, right? Executive producer Nicola Briggs tells Vortex about the recasting the role. We realized we needed somebody who was in their 50s who could play the age William Hartnell did. And so I'm surprised they're not using more Dave Bradley. And I'm not dismissing using Steve Noonan, right? But the Dave Bradley thing seems to be working quite well. And I was kind of getting used to his Doctor. Also, I like Peter Purvis's one. I guess he's getting long in the tooth, though, and William Russell, I think, is retired. And he's mad. He did a release called The Rocket Man. Who did that? Was that Nick Briggs one? That was awesome. Oh, that was so good. Right, I really enjoyed. I believe it was him that did it. I might be completely wrong. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed all the Rocket Man releases. They did a bunch of them. And I think it may be Simon Gurrier. I can't remember. We'll look after this. Somebody 50 who could play up the age that Hartnell did, and there was something inherent in the performance that is a younger man playing an unspecified ancient age. I felt we could give it some extra authority. At this stage, we were thinking we didn't necessarily need to have somebody who sounded close to Hartnell's voice. Well, they're making an interesting point, right? It's I think you need them ballpark, but you've had so many people play the First Doctor now, right? You had Hartnell, obviously, Richard Hundell, Dave Bradley, and we had the Big Finish people, right? But yeah, and there's so we're used to there being different. It's like the Star Trek fan films, those awesome Star Trek fan films, had different people playing Kirk, and so when they did it in the movies, it was fine. It was totally, and also what's the thing, the casting of those Star Trek movies are freaking perfect, right? We asked a number of actors to audition for the part. Then one of the actors, among others, says something along the lines of, I want this job and I will do the audition for you, but it would be remiss of me not to mention my good friend Stephen Noonan. Mark, mate, what are you doing? You did yourself out of a job. Listen, Mark Elstop, he's not shook for work at Big Finish. I think Mark Elstop, one of their most relentlessly talented actors. A lot of people didn't like the Nick Briggs Prisoner. I really loved it, right? I disagreed vehemently with what he was saying with it, but I love that it was his expression of himself. Hey, Mark Elstop, freaking excellent beyond excellent as the prisoner. And he's great in everything I listened to him in. Was it the Human Frontier, which delayed another year or something, which really pisses me off. I love that. By Nick Briggs, he's great in that. So he would have been interesting. Okay. So you got to know Stephen Noonan as an actor and a Doctor Who fan. Does a rather wonderful William Hartnell voice. I replied, I think you better give me Stephen context details. Well, suffice it to say that Stephen's audition was superb, and we gave him the job. Well, obviously, this had been produced by Mark Wright. He's done good work. He's done good work with Blake Seven, who says it was hugely daunting to take on the relaunch of the First Doctor Adventures. Not to mention very exciting. The prospect of finding a new First Doctor was the most crucial element, and we knew we'd have to give it a lot of scrutiny. Again, I'm happy to give Lon Cornelius as much scrutiny as you want, right? And that totally works. Yes, we are on board. We are on board for this casting. Okay. Nick and I had many discussions, but we got our man, along with the brilliant Laura's Dodo. I immediately wanted to tell stories that were once traditional and a little unusual. Okay. Now, yeah, because for me, the story is everything. I have to tell you, I'm really not a fan of the new Big Finish taglines for the love of stories. It's like, it just, oh man, you got to change that as quickly as possible. Fine. So the first one was written by Elizabeth Miles, which was better. Okay, Elizabeth Miles has a better track record than Lizzie Hopley, but it's both being female feels like you're saying something. Right, it does feel like you're trying to say something, and also first impressions last. Right, you can tell on the ranges that you really want to have that traditional audience. You don't have a hook for them because you use writing talent that we all know and are solid. And why I think Elizabeth Miles is certainly getting there. I don't think she's written a something and knock it out the park. She hasn't done a John Dorney, thing yet. I'm not saying it's beyond her. I just really think they were given a bit of an easy ride, because there's this whatever. We went for the whole thing, right? Let's look to the future, right? That's basically what I'm trying. Let's look to the future now. The set opens up with the titular Outlaws play written by Elizabeth Miles. Mark reveals the Outlaws was quite fun. It's a fast romp in the classic Hartnell historical mode. I knew from the word go that we wanted to have a box set that would feature the meddling monk. It was a way of doing something traditional, but using the modern element of Big Finish output, marry everything together. Now, do I like the Rufus SeaWorld meddling monk? I have to tell you, I really, really haven't liked the meddling nun. What's her name in Gemma Whelan? It's just firstly, it feels like it's jumping on a bandwagon of a rather boring idea of, hey, let's recast everything female, right? Like everything. And then I just don't like a take on it. Well, I did like Rufus Sewell's a lot, right? I like Graham Gardens. That was awesome. I really liked his take on the meddling monk. But maybe they should recast a Peter Buttersworth, right? They're doing it in that era. And they're recasting Dodo. Why not recast a Peter Buttersworth, right? And there's a few people you could go to, right? Maybe the guy who played Panda in the Iris Wildtime things. Like, anyway, and I'm not trying to like because now it's in something different, but because I think it's taken it out of that classic thing once you put the modeling meddling monk in it, and you got like, you know what you got? Imagine they did a series of news stories with David Bradley as the first Doctor, right? With Stephen Noonan playing it. Now, am I interested in that? It's on the so you're not selling it on the traditionalism of it. You're selling on the newness of it, and I'm worried, right? I'm worried. But let's see if you can win me over. Okay, I haven't told anything about the story yet, but so Liv delivered a brilliantly fun script. Now she did have a nice touch with the David Tennant River Song one. Like the tap dancing was nice in that, right? So if that's what they're doing, which was more of a hint of Robin Hood, but it turned on its head, and we have the fantastic guest cast, or not least of Glynis Barber as Nicola Delahaye, a real life sheriff of Lincolnshire from the 13th century. So you could include some Doctor Who original educational remit in it. Dude, man, I want to give you a try, but like every time I've really regretted these things. All right. Okay. You know what? Again, if you look at Picard, for example, series season 2 of Picard, if you just again don't look at the past, look to the future. Look where we are now, what we have now. It's a nice continuation of the character of Picard, right? I think it really, really works. But you have to forget everything that happened in the past. Would I be happy about having this female sheriff? It depends what they do with it. Again, I mean, if they're saying, "Oh, look at me, women are not oppressed, we're breaking," I don't know. Again, if she's a real life sheriff, then it feels like you're saying something. Most of all, the chance to get to know about our new Doctor and Dodo in a setting that's sort of familiar. Why is it familiar? Like a sort of Robin Hoodie, I guess. Okay. Elizabeth, it was terribly exciting. Okay, I like the Robin Hoodiness of it. Through the first 1960s I've written, I rewatched all of Dodo's television adventures and the Gunfighters a few times. Okay, so listen, you put your work in. You totally put your research in, right? Okay, totally put the research in. That's very good. For me, one of the best. I like the Gunfighters, right? The Gunfighters is fun. If it's going to be like that, I can be talked into it. Her characterization on screen was all over the place. It was, wasn't it? That's fair enough. I'm talking about Dodo, I guess. Oh yeah, we're talking about it was all over the place. What was going on behind the scenes, but there was absolute joy in the story. You're not wrong. Okay, you're not wrong. So the Outlaws is a homage to both my love of Robin Hood and the great Donald Cotton. Man, you're saying everything right. Okay, you're totally winning me over. Okay, and I could imagine like a Gene Marshy type as sheriff. Okay, you've won me back from that. Okay, and I hope you appreciate how hard I'm working for you. Okay, and I really am. I want this. I want to be able to want it. All right. Doing a historical research was brilliant. I was familiar with Nicola Delahaye, a remarkable woman who was a sheriff of Lincolnshire, but exploring a little bit more in the context of the defense of Lincolnshire Castle, and seeing how the actual history fitted. So, well, the story was a delight. Okay. Mark Rufus has a ball with the script as a meddling monk, and a meddling monk enjoys the sparring with the Doctor, and I was keen to have loads of confrontations between them. Again, what you're imagining is imagine a new series with Stephen Noonan as the first Doctor, right? That's basically what you imagine. They're not trading on it being classic, I think, but they want to be faithful to the feel of it. So, okay, fine. I was have loads of conversations between them. Liz really gave it her all with the dialogue, and it's interesting. Rufus Monk in something where you would easily find Peter's Butterworth was the original monk. Yeah, okay, fine. The second adventure, The Miniaturist by Lizzie Hopley. For example, if and I really wish they did this, and maybe do this with Stephen Noonan. Why not? I said do it with Dave Bradley. Why don't they? The kids the kids did a production of was it the prequel to Dalek? Was it the Dalek Master Plan? Right. And Nick Briggs did the voices. They did everything as exact as it was at the time, and it looked fantastic. So imagine a world where they did I was doing like a Dave Bradley version of like Marco Polo, but let's say you do it with Steve Noonan, right, and whoever, whatever you recast, right, and you crowdfund it. I'd love to see that, but then imagine you went off and did new stories. So that's what we're. But okay, so let's say you're doing was it Dalek Master Plan? My point was this: that if you crowdfunded that and you want to produce it, and you had to recast the meddling monk, obviously you'll put Rufus Hound into it, right? I can hear it. Okay, so the second adventure, this is a two-parter by The Miniaturist by Lizzie Hopley. Mark continues. The Miniaturist takes Doctor and Dodo into an era of history that the First Doctor is not wholly familiar with. The first quarter of the 21st century. Oh, that's interesting. It's more of a sideways step for Lizzie, with a mystery deep beneath New Yorkshire mind, bending the mentions of an unreal entity. So the thing I find with Lizzie Hopley is she does rely on these sapphire and steely things. I'm not sure. It doesn't. It's very different from the fun of the first one. Okay. Many dimension and the unusual entity that finds the Doctor intensely interesting. And there's a lot of emotional drama for Dodo to play with here. Adding some layers that were perhaps missing from the conception of the original character. Lizzie says, it was a completely new departure for me, as I didn't know the first Doctor era as well. A perfect excuse to swat up an early episode. Mark asked me to watch the Ark, Gunfighters and War Machines. Okay, listen, if you sat through them, and again, listen, you got Lauren Cornelius, you're winning me over all the time. Loving the leopard print, darling. Loving the leopard print. What was your TV video? I couldn't believe the Gunfighters. Gunfighters is fun, right? Gunfighters is fun. I hadn't seen it before. It blew me away with the audacity of the storytelling. Yeah, so I've been fascinated for the craft of miniaturists for years. Who doesn't love a doll's house? Okay. I find it a bit creepy, actually. Okay. I also have links to Bolby Potash mine in Yorkshire, as my husband and my family worked and still work down there. Okay. It's a home of the Dark Matter Lab as rare geological quiet place. Okay, this sounds like you're gonna have an inferno-like situation going on soon. The third Doctor's gonna have to come and say, well, Josephat, how did you do such a thing? That's a terrible third Doctor. Great balls of fire. Hence, the most exciting places I could do. Well, it seems a perfect match for the Doctor and Dodo. I wanted to create aliens as old and mysterious as Erato from The Creature of the Pit. Darling, don't take Creature of the Pit as your... Really? That's a mistake. Oh, God. Yeah, I want to do the big penis monster, right? The dildo, the inflatable dildo monster. I want to do more. I want that as my inspiration. That's a mistake, darling, okay? But no. One of your personal favorites. I don't know. Listen, Vive la France. What can I tell you? Something terrifying misunderstood. Well, bloody wasn't misunderstood by me. It was a weird dark fantasy. Okay, so let's have a look at an interview with Stephen, and then we're going to watch his trailer, right? And look, the performance is good. Oh, here's the thing right now, okay? Here's the thing. I'm scared to get it and not like it because I'm going to... and not like it because I feel like I'm being lectured to. Right, I'm scared to get it and not like it because I'm being lectured to, because then I'm going to be upset. Right? Listen, you've won me over a lot. Right? The main story sounds good. I don't know enough about the miniaturist, but the main story sounds good. Richard Herndl, David Bradley, and now Stephen Noonan. 3 actors who have followed the steps of William Hart, the First Doctor. For Stephen, a lifelong Doctor Who fan, he can refer to the First Doctor stories by their opening titles from the 1973 Radio Time special. I got a lot of respect for that. So this is a genuine treat. I became okay. He's got a lot of reverence for the First Doctor. That goes a long way, right? That goes a long way. Stephen says, I first became familiar, and Nicholas Briggs is the executive producer. He's like in charge. And tell you, I got a lot of respect for Briggs and his work. A lot of respect. He very rarely doesn't deliver, right? So it's a tough one, mate. It's a tough one. Honestly, I'm nearly won over. Okay, I'm nearly won over, which I'm kind of happy about. Stephen says I first became from William Hartnell's voice from the 1977 television documentary Who's Doctor Who. We got these clips of him down from down by the Thames in a TV episode in episode 2 of Dalek Invasion of Earth, and from episode 1 of Galaxy 4. Love that. Yeah, it's so spooky, right? It's a great way of introducing the character, especially if you didn't know anything about him before. When I was initially asked to play the First Doctor, I took a bit of time to think about it. You can be as good as good as it can be, and you don't want to ridicule. You don't want to ridicule. You want to be faithful as possible. With generosity from listeners, will hopefully suspend disbelief and think it's the First Doctor. Well, listen, we've done it more than once. You know, again, it's like recasting Kirk at this point, right? We've done it more than once, right? Totally. It's. I don't think that's such an issue. Where was it? I lost the page. Where'd it go? No, I lost it. Where? Hang on. Oh, there you go. Found it. Okay. Fine. I have to tell you, then they're very good about not doing impersonations, which I like. I like that Tim Trelaw's Third Doctor is a performance. Right? The Annihilators was fantastic, right? And that Second Doctor Beyond the War Games, I was really unsure about it one way or the other. However, I have to tell you that what goes in Noonan's favor here is that Fraser Hines' portrayal of the Second Doctor was very much driven by his knowledge and love of the Second Doctor. Right, so and I think it really brought an incredible performance, and I think that we're probably going to get the same with Noonan. You know what? You talked me into it. I'm gonna take a punt on it. Fine, you talked me around. You're doing good. Okay, when fine. Executive producer Nicholas Briggs sent me an email with several TV scenes to audition. Interesting. I wonder what scenes. Wonder if we can get him on. God, I hope I like it. Okay. With 5 different scenes, which were very good at contrasting 5 different aspects of Billy. Most from scenes from Edge of Destruction. Oh, man. I bet The Birth of the Star. Oh, that's one of the all-time great Doctor speeches. There's been a lot of all-time great Doctor speeches, right? But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. One from the War Machines, the Doctor, when the Doctor and Dodo leaves the TARDIS. I recorded them and sent them back. That's what the War Machines. No, I am thinking the War Machines when they put an out of order sign on it, right? They giggle. When they get that whimsy in, because I do hope you're going to get a lot of that in this, right? It does sound okay. It sounds pretty good. And I recorded them and sent them back. I couldn't have done any more work on my performance. Well, obviously it paid off, didn't it? I couldn't done any more work on my performance. Then I got an email asking me to do a Zoom the next day, and we had a 3-hour fan conversation before we got around to discussing the part. We were doing a beautiful appreciation of Doctor Who. Okay, you won me over. Stephen was offered the job and accepted it at the end of June last year, with the first recording taking place in November. Stephen continues. I was a couple of weeks before. I said yes. I had a lot of time to prepare. I asked if I could see the scripts as soon as possible. It's all very, very well recording versions of the scenes and speeches of existing episodes. We can do an impression or try to mimic the intonation of the existing line line, but it's a different thing trying to get the voice right for new lines. Well, that's the exciting bit. Listen, I listen to audio soundtracks of the missing episodes to further capture the voice. And we're going to listen to it in a minute. It's a performance, right? It's a performance. So for me, I liked it. I listened to the audio soundtracks of the missing TV episodes for further capture the voice. I found out due to research, I love the treasure that I hadn't encountered before. Nick concludes, Stephen's study of William Hartnell has been epic. He's rewatched, listened to every Hartnell episode, then recorded his versions of them. Wow. Okay, Stephen, can we get you to do, if you've got your own channel, put us out on it, right? Classic versions, like classic Doctor Who speeches as if given by the first Doctor, right? You could do the Stonehenge Matt Smith speech, or you could do the Ark in Space speech, the fourth Doctor, or Have I the Right speech. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome, right? As the first Doctor. I love that idea. So he's totally reminds me of a total of vocal encores, really captured the spirit of it while bringing his own Hartnell zest to it. So it's exciting to listen to. The performance was good. So here, let's listen to the performance, right? Let's. I think it's only fair, right? At this juncture. So video file. There you go. A good freaking trailer they put together.
Join Doctor Who for a new adventure.
Atmospheric pressure, oxygen, temperature, radiation. Yes, it's all quite normal. Now, let's have a look at the scanner, shall we?
Yeah, I'm fine with thinking this is the first. That performance is fine.
We're in a forest.
I can see that, Doctor. But where? And when?
Well, judging by those trees, I'd say, England. Yes. Somewhere around the 13th century.
Well, it looks like a lovely place for a walk. Where or whenever it is.
Well, yeah, I have to tell you, we really don't have much First Doctor and Dodo as well. So it's nice to fill out that era a little bit. Kelly says, I think Fraser Hines does a better second Doctor than Michael Jordan. It's more accurate, but I like the difference, right? I like switching it up a little bit.
There aren't any bears about, are there?
Bears? Why should there be bears?
Well, I know England had plenty of them wandering around in the past.
Yes, my dear. About 1,000 years before this time. No, we'll be quite safe.
Oh, good.
Now, are you sure you're up to it?
Why wouldn't I be?
Oh, no reason.
So I think I prefer it without the distortion, right? Sounds like Post and Pat says perfect. Listen, the Post and Pat says Mark the Bigger. The Post and Pat adventures, they're coming in 2025, mate.
No reason.
I'm fine, Doctor. Really, I am.
I know that it hasn't been easy for you since Stephen left. Having no one but a...
Well, what was much less easy is Dodo, until recently, I'm not sure if Canada's changed, died from syphilis given to her by the Marquis de Sade. As you found out in Who Killed Kennedy. Who wrote that book? But yeah, that was one of that's from The Man in the Velvet Mask and Who Killed Kennedy. Oh, I moved it. Where'd it go? There we go.
Yes, well, I suppose I can be quite engaging on occasion.
Anyway, I know that moping about the TARDIS isn't going to do either of us any good.
I am not moping.
Of course not. Neither of us are.
Shall we be off?
I'd better get changed first.
Whatever for?
I can't run around the 13th century in a miniskirt, can I?
Lauren, darling. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. In fact, yeah. Can I just say, if we're going to recast Lauren Cornelius as Perry, same outfit.
Won't be a minute.
And while you're footling around in that wardrobe, bring my stick, child.
So many dimensions. A box inside a smaller box.
I beg your pardon. You shrunk my ship. This game is at an end.
We are playing. You and me.
Again, I'm going to give it a punt, right? I'm going to give it a punt. I think it's a nice. I like the special toy maker-ness of it, right? And I wouldn't mind seeing them going up against a new special toy maker, right? I like what's his name? It was David. He's still alive. David Bellali. I'm sorry to say he's still alive, but come on, they're all dropping like flies, aren't they, mate? What do you want me to tell you? Time moves on.
Like playing with you.
If you play with the dimensions of my ship, you won't just destroy this part of England, you'll destroy the Earth's solar system!
Doctor Who returns in a new science fiction adventure.
So, you know what? Okay, see.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
Look, Nick, mate, you got to get rid of that. That's awful, right? I'm sorry. And you know, I'm a big supporter. I like, but that's awful. That's what you nearly took me out of it with that one. Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.